Board of Education regular meeting Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, 6:30 p.m. Before I start, I'd like to just say a word of prayer. Lord, I ask that you give us guidance, that you be with us, give us wisdom. I pray for our community, our students, our staff. There's a lot going on in the world, and I just ask that you lay your hand on Norwalk and surrounding areas and be with us in Jesus' name. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Crawford? Here. Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Norris?
Here.
Mr. Ritzenthaler?
Here.
Mrs. Wick?
Here. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just love hearing.
I know, that was
good. That was nice. Enjoyed that. Yes. Good job. We can have a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenthaler?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Wick?
Yes. Public participation. Each person who wishes to address the board will be asked to give his or her name and address. Remarks should be limited to 3 minutes in length. If after everyone who wishes to do so has had an opportunity to speak, additional comments can be made up to a total allotted time of 30 minutes. All right, we're moving along. Educational spotlight.
Yes, we have two this evening. We're going to start with Mrs. Janet Smith and all our students from Pleasant Elementary. So we will move out. So we are facing like the crowd, and you all have the stage now.
Playing football next year?
Hello, good evening. Tonight we have our Pleasant Elementary Student Lighthouse team. This team consists of student leaders from each of the homerooms, and they've been chosen to synergize and be a positive impact on their students, Pleasant, families, and community. These particular students were chosen because they're dependable, they're reliable, and they are respectful. We have 3 advisors, Mrs. Ober, Mrs. Slaughter, and Mrs. Gilson, who I have to say have spent hours all year working with the kids to make this a successful program. Tonight, this group will be highlighting their year with the ABCs of the Student Lighthouse team.
Pleasant Elementary would like to present the ABCs of the Student Lighthouse team. A is for application. To be selected for the SLT, everyone had to fill out an application and go through an interview. We had 85 students apply. The staff chose to interview 42 of them. 20 students were selected for the Lighthouse team. B is for being brave. We had to be brave to interview with teachers, do announcements, and stand up and talk to our class. C is for giving. We made Christmas cards and took them to the area nursing homes. E is for donate. We had a canned food drive and donated it all to help out The fifth day. E is for exciting monthly meetings. Every month we went to school early for a meeting to plan our next leadership event. F is for fundraising. We had a emoji sale and donated the money to the age exchange program. G is for greeters. Students signed up to be a greeter and welcome everyone to school in the morning. Anyone could be a greeter. We had lots of students who wanted this leadership role. H is for hall monitors. Our team decided to dedicate hall monitors to remind everyone about being a level 0 in the hall. I is for ice cream. The Student Lighthouse team sold ice cream at lunchtime on Fridays. J is for jumping. We were excited to jump into new opportunities to be joyful leaders this year. K is for kindness. Every classroom did random acts of kindness for someone at school in the morning.
L is for leaders. We have learned how to become even better leaders throughout this year. M is for magic numbers. The classrooms have a competition each week to see whose room can be the neatest and win the magic number award.
N is for night after an academy. Our team greeted our guests, passed out maps, and took water to the presenters on the night. O is for opening the day. We read the announcements for the whole school to hear every morning. P is for presenting. After each meeting, we had to report back to our classmates and present any important information. Q is for quite the commitment. The SLT had to commit to being to school early, making posters on our own time, and attending events after school at times. R is for rainbows. The students wrote kind words about every staff member and we turned it into a rainbow in the gym. S is for singing. At Christmas time, each class sang a Christmas carol, and we sent the videos to the nursing home.
So here's a little snippet of one of the Christmas carols so every class got to sing their Christmas carol, and we made a video to send to the area nursing home so that they could watch the video there. So here's a little snippet of one of those classes.
T is for toy drive. Our school collected toys for children who may not have toys for Christmas. U and V is for using our voice. We learned that good leaders use their voice for kindness, their ears for compassion, their hands for charity, their minds for the truth, and their hearts for love. W, X, Y, and Z is for we are an extra special team. This year we have learned to work as a team to lead our classmates in being the best we can be and to make Pleasant a great place to learn.
Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you.
Okay. Tony Berry.
Mrs. Smith, is that it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you for being such a great audience.
Mrs. Smith, I thought you want to share about what happened today?
Sure. That was all student led, so the students decided how they were going to present and all that, because that's what they do, they lead at the school. But others, we have pictures. This has been such an exciting day for the elementary schools because you've been talking about the vending machines that we have, the two of them. Here it is, the vending machines, the literacy initiative. The kids haven't even seen this yet, I don't know. I was away at a meeting, but we have vending machines at Maplehurst, Pleasant, and Lig now. So you have tokens that you put in, and they have books, like chapter books and big books and all kinds of books that they earn the tokens. And they put it in, and they get a book. We've been waiting for this. It's do you love them? I think this is beautiful. So it says, today's readers are tomorrow's leaders. So every one of the three of us got this in our school today. So that was exciting. This is just like, the kids are gonna go crazy tomorrow. Now this little girl here was first. We have fitness, fit desks that arrived yesterday. So in each classroom, there's a bike. It's got some, like that's massaging her hands right there. You get restless, where you need to exercise. They're called fit desks for students. So we have those one in every classroom at Pleasant that arrived. Yes, it's like Christmas. And isn't it crazy? So it's like Christmas right there. All these presents are coming. So look at her smiling face. She was one of the first ones to try out the desk. So they sit in there, they can read and they can pay attention. You can use it as an incentive or it's just to get fit. And everybody wants to get to the bike. So that's our other thing that we have. With funding. Thank you so much for the funds that you have shared with us so that we can share it with the kids.
So the second part actually was a Fisher Titus grant. So looking at health and wellness, so that's what the bikes were funded through Fisher Titus. And the other part were our ESSER funds, looking at what's a need for our schools, and the book vending machines was very much identified as a great choice for that. So looking forward to that. Kids are excited for it. So thank you.
Mr. Cool, they expect more vending machines, wanted it at everybody's house.
And we didn't even say, was there any questions for kids that they could answer? This is our first year that we tried it. We just tried it maybe it was November. And the interview process was like, you guys can talk to that too, the interview process. Tell me how the kids did the piece of it. Did they talk about that?
They were quite amazing.
Like
Very impressive. Like they came dressed, ready for an interview. They practiced obviously eye contact and speaking clearly. They were prepared for the questions we asked them. It was pretty impressive. They really was. They did and there were a lot of students that we interviewed.
That's 80 some, right?
Yeah,
That's
85
a lot of
applicants, I think, and then we
applied.
interviewed 44 of them or something. And we had to narrow it down, but they were very impressive. So kudos to the parents. They did a great job.
And this is our first year with this, so you can imagine what they're going to be doing years coming down the line. I mean, this is the student leads. I mean, that's what we're all about. Maybe go leaders and good citizens. So they're just doing exactly what we asked, and they have such great ideas. Kids, they come up with the darndest things. It's like, oh my gosh, I love that idea. Let's do it. So.
They promised ice cream tonight because half of them was sprinted out of it. So I'm like, what was going on? Like, dinner follows this or what? Yeah.
I should do something. I don't know. We asked them on Friday. No, they all go to bed on time. So that's why they're rested, ready to get on that bike tomorrow when they come back to school. So thank you so much, Marie.
Thank you.
I noticed the parent out there has a different reaction in the bed on time. I saw you.
And so I think but you don't have to stay. If you want to, you can stay, but we had told the kids that they have to stay.
All right.
We have a second spotlight. Two of our high achievers from Norwalk High School. Mr. Canio will begin the presentation.
I was gonna follow the cute kids for some reason. That's a tough act to follow. So we've started recognizing our graduation speakers, and traditionally we've had 3 speakers, our valedictorian, salutatorian, and our class president that speak at graduation. This year, we have 2 of those because one of those holds both of those positions. So I'm gonna recognize those 2, and just like the cute kids in front of you, these individuals, if I come up with 2 words, they are dependable and reliable people. And they excel. They're both members of NHS, actually officers of NHS, and they definitely follow the service, leadership, character traits, and eventually they're going to receive lots of scholarships, hopefully, to go along with that and help them get started with college. So I'm going to do one at a time. So let's have Summer come down here first. Also, tonight, as soon as we're done here, they're going to get to slide their names into our academic board, recognizing them as our valedictorian and salutatorian as the top two in class rank after 7 semesters of high school. So we're going to start with Summer Moment, who is taking both of those positions of class president and salutatorian of the class of 2023. And I didn't have a cute card, so I just have a plain old note card with a couple highlights. She's going to speak at graduation to talk more in detail, but she'll be the salutatorian of this class. She has a 4.22 GPA. She participates in band, orchestra, and is also a 3-sport athlete of soccer, basketball, and track, and also maintaining great grades. She's a National Honor Society president. She put in one of her articles, she works Safety Town for the fire department. So there is a lot of your service along with that. And she's a member of our athletic team leadership group and is a great individual that also represents being dependable and reliable. So I'm going to honor you with the salutatorian medal that we'll get to wear at graduation. And what are your future plans?
I'm currently planning on attending Tiffin University to major in neuroscience and planning on continuing my basketball career. So, yes.
We also have a board certificate, and if you want to shake everyone's hand there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Austin Rockwell. Austin Rockwell will be the valedictorian of the class of 2023. Austin is, been before you guys before. We've seen him there. He is our orchestra president, and this is just a snippet. I only have one note card and I ran out of space, but he has taken 8 AP classes. 8 AP classes. He's had all 4s and 5s. I bet he's upset about the 4s he got too, because they were pretty darn close there. He had the perfect score in AP Computer Science, that rare feat. 32 in his ACT. I think he's actually programming a website for a local company here right now. So he's already started to invest his talents in a very productive manner, helping out a local company. He is been a member of the musical, so he was in the musical last 2 years, participating in that. He is a commended national scholar. I have him, he is the vice president of NHS, correct? Treasurer of NHS, vice president of Key Club, member of service, all those things, also participates in our Unity Club. He is, like both of these individuals, are people that we count on when we need something done, that is for sure. So Austin, what are your future plans?
I plan to attend Oberlin College to double major in mathematics and computer science and minor in music.
Sounds great.
Congratulations, Austin.
And we'll hear more from them on the 27th. So thank you, everybody.
Special presentation.
Okay, good evening. I'm here to talk to you about the way that our middle school summer band opportunities are going to be changing this summer. I wanted to make sure that you were fully aware, there weren't any surprises from any community members. So this slideshow behind you is just going to summarize all of my talking points. The pictures are cute if you want to look at them. So it's going to happen from June 6th through 9th this year instead of spanning the entire month of June. So the 3 key points I'm going to go over is what are we changing, why are we changing it, and what this new version looks like. Yes. Oh, I can do it easier for you. Got it. Thank you. Oh, and the scrolling thing does things too. Okay, there we go. All right, so our summer options. Historically, Norwalk Middle School has offered a kind of like a summer marching band camp for our students. It was offered to any student leaving grades 6 through 8 who was enrolled in a band class during the school year. These students would march in the 4th of July parade as their culminating performance. The students included any child leaving 6th, 7th, or 8th grade that previous year. Over the course of that camp, which was about 2-ish hours, about 3 days a week, depending on what our schedule looked like that summer. They learned 2 patriotic songs. They learned all of the same music, so it's like your little kid hot cross bun band book kind of stuff where they all played the same notes at the same time. They memorized it and they learned the fundamentals of marching and did it all at the same time in like almost a 2-mile parade, all in one summer. And in the last 4 years, we were able to do it thanks to COVID. I saw a lot of my students struggle, and a lot of my students kind of feel very overwhelmed in that process, especially my younger ones. And I would hope that my job as their educator here is to kind of foster them being excited about learning and growing. So it was very frustrating to see my little clarinet players like, I can't do this. I don't know how to play these notes. And I'm like, I know, but I have to pick these patriotic songs and they weren't written for 6th graders. So they really tried their hearts out. But I was presented with an awesome opportunity that I really think is going to be a better experience for them. So in looking at what we've done in the past and what we could do in the future, I was trying to come up with ways we could improve, and I thought we could provide more targeted instruction on relevant material. So instead of my middle schoolers focusing on marching, which is a skill they don't really need until maybe 8th grade high school, I thought it would be more beneficial for us to focus on the fundamentals that we've been building throughout the year through concert band music as opposed to marching. I thought it would benefit them to introduce them to new musicians. Our 8th grade band and 7th grade band last year went to Cedar Point to do a performance, and they were so excited to be around other children their age who were also in band. Just being in that environment, I think, was really powerful for them, and I wanted to find a way to make that more inclusive to more of our students in the band program. And so I also sought a way to make a more educational experience because, like I said, the patriotic songs, it was everyone had to play the same thing at the same time. We needed power in numbers because those sweet dear children were going to get very tired by the end of that parade. And so I was looking for an experience where we could kind of tier and scaffold our instruction and differentiate so that my 6th graders could get just as much out of it as my 8th graders could. So the new version is going to look like a 4-day band camp combined with Sandusky Middle School. Their director and I are good friends, and he approached me with this opportunity. Our end game is to create a much larger camp that includes a lot of area schools. So I offered to be that guinea pig to try this out with him. He has been doing it this way. Sandusky City Schools has been for years. It is required of their students. He is shortening it this year. For a lot of reasons for him. It'll have a concert band focus, so instead of culminating with a parade, this experience will culminate with a concert at Sandusky High School. We will have sectionals and full bands, so our students will get an opportunity to work in small groups of like instruments in sectionals run by experts in their field. So we'll bring in a clarinet player for my clarinet players to teach them. Somebody who's very highly qualified in that, who plays for their job, to work with them, to help them grow, to offer them tips and tricks that I couldn't even touch in a 45-minute band class with 40 of them in front of me. And we'll have full band rehearsals as part of our everyday rehearsal. We will culminate with a concert in Sandusky at their high school on Friday evening. The goal is that if this year goes well, we will be having that concert in Norwalk next year. The reason we chose to start based in Sandusky this year is because it is required of their students, and so it just didn't seem fair to me to say, oh, hey, you have to go to this camp and also come to Norwalk. So luckily our boosters have gracefully offered to fund this entire experience, so our students are not paying a penny out of pocket. They're going to get fed, they're going to get educated by numerous people. They're going to get this experience to play a concert with the Sandusky Middle School Band, which is right now stands about 50 kids. So that's very exciting for them because we could be looking at like a 100-piece little middle school band, which is really cool. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this year. Do you have any questions that I can answer?
Sounds great.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure you knew, because like the biggest change that we're gonna see is that we won't be in the 4th of July parade. And I really hope that you can understand why we're making that choice. And please, if anybody has any feelings, send them my way. I'm happy to like share them my presentation. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank
You
you.
too, thank you. And next month, I actually talked to Mr. Kish today. We are going to have students here for the Education Spotlight to speak on the DC trip that they just finished. So if you've seen video pictures of that, great experience, great representation of our Norwalk students.
Yeah.
That went well and kids had a lot of fun. So look forward to next month hearing from them.
Great. Treasurer's reports.
Okay, we have the minutes from the March 14th meeting. We have the March 2023 financial reports. Big part of the March 2023 financial report was the final settlement of the real estate tax. We received the manufactured home, which was the last part of it, that was around $6,000 just this month. Did have an increase, 387,000, almost 388,000 from the same time last year, which, and it's just general fund only. You know, property taxes go not only to the general fund, but to the debt service and the permanent improvement. So that's really important to us, because that's, being at the 20 mil floor gives us a chance to have some revenue growth on our property taxes. So I'm really excited. So when you get excited about the 20 mil floor, that's why, because it really makes a difference. Before, we rarely saw any increases on our property taxes because your millage rolled back. So this is just so good. So every time I see something new being built, it's like, oh yay, new house there. Also, interest rate STAR is now up to 4.87%. When I look back and I see what we had, I mean, we probably had more in March. Our interest was almost $42,000 in March alone than we did for the whole prior year. So that's just really huge. And the Fed just raised interest rates again. I don't think they're going to be going up too much more after this, but they just go up another 25 basis points. So we'll be seeing that. And I've seen some CDs now over 5%. So that's really exciting. Next, we have our workers' compensation. This is a group rating program that we're in for workers' comp. By combining with other like entities, we're able to receive a lower rate. So there's an annual fee to be in the group rating. It's $788, and that's what goes to the TPA. But our projected workers' comp premium for 2024, and it's based on calendar year, is $39,359. This is workers' comp has really been reducing their rates over the years. It used to be we paid $90,000 per year for workman's comp. So the fact that we're down to just under $40,000 is just huge. Of course, it was nice when they were giving us those rebates back, but we'll take the lower rates. That's always good. And then we have family medical leave for one of our custodians. And that's actually all I have for you this month. Next month, of course, is the forecast month, so that should be really exciting.
Are we ever going to have, what is it, Kahoot?
I'm looking at something. I had actually talked to Scott Spevel. There was a new game that the teachers use, which I can't remember what you call it now, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to the Kahoot game because it was kind of the same thing. So,
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
if you want, we'll try it for next month.
I don't know, I'm like, what are we talking about?
I haven't done it. It's
Yeah,
fun
much we know.
with the forecast, so.
Can you tell us what it is? I mean,
Well, basically, it's kind of like
We
a
need to
game
do
show. You get options, you get to choose. Everybody gets to play, and I don't make questions too hard. You know, they're pretty simple ones. I wouldn't want to give away any of them right now, but you know, they're maybe like, you know, what is the 5-year forecast made up of? You know, how many years
Multiple
projected,
choice.
how many actual.
Yeah.
Simple things, just so you can- you know, that's how you learn.
Might not be here.
No,
So there may be a few absences next month.
Oh, come on.
And it's something everybody can play.
Yeah.
All the kids
Sure,
can
no one
stay
comes.
next time. they
No one
come.
cares about
Yeah. So it's pretty neat, so
So,
that's
yeah.
my plan for. Okay. I'll do that with the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Need a motion for approval for treasurer's reports items 1 through 4.
so move.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenthaler.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes. Personnel.
Yes, items for approval. We have several resignations. Jessica Enderly, teacher at Maplehurst. She has one of those where she has to go additional days into the new year. So we are actually hiring for that position, but she will continue there to assist at Maplehurst until that October 1 date.
I have a question here. Sorry, I
Yes.
thought after reading this before, I know she's kindergarten, right? Will
Yes.
she start with the classroom or will she be helping so that she doesn't start
She'll
with
be
class
helping.
and then?
So when
Okay,
we,
that's what I
when
thought.
we fill that position, it'll be that we'll have sole
Sorry, I
ownership
just
from
thought-
day one.
Okay,
So yeah, she will be helping in many other jobs. And we've done this in the past, so we think that's probably best. It is best for kids.
no,
to
she'll be
do
great
that.
while she's still there. That's awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Gloria Howard, cook helper, Jennifer Nicolai, she'll maintain her regular route in the AM and PM. She is not going to continue with the midday bus driving. Russell Smith, food truck driver, and Jared Weinbrenner, intervention specialist at the middle school. So she will be effective June 2nd. Employment of Jacqueline Weisenberger for that midday, so the Mrs. Nicolai vacancy, she'll be filling that position. Employment of Eric Hall. Eric Hall is here, so he will be our new science teacher replacing Mrs. Go. He is a trucker grad from several years ago, and he's got 1 year of almost 1 year of experience at Kent McKinley. So if you want to say anything, Mr. Hall?
All I want to say is thank you.
Welcome back.
Employment of Jennifer Flynn. She will be our high school guidance counselor. She wanted to be here tonight, but she had a commitment, so she is unable to be here. So Jennifer Flynn, high school guidance counselor. Addition, staying with Jennifer Flynn, she will be, and this is to get her started. So she's actually graduating here first week in May, and we'll have time that she can get acquainted with the staff, with the other counselors, so she'll be ready to roll come August. It's not that quick time of transition. So very excited to have her on board and to get things started here in May yet. We have a long list of names here as we typically do each year. We have the 1-year contracts, 6A. 6B, we have the 2-year contracts. 6C is the 3-year contracts, and 6D is those with continuing contracts. We have 2 substitutes in Colin Beeman and Cameron Greer. So both Colin will be certified and classified, Cameron will be certified, and that is the personnel items for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval for personnel items 1 through 7. Second,
Second.
any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Norris.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenthaler.
Yes.
Mrs. Blair.
Yes. Basketball player?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. It just came to me, the name. Superintendent's reports.
Yes, items for approval. Like our band trip, we have 2 exciting trips for our robotics. So we have high school and our middle school teams. Talking to the advisors, we have kids who have not traveled out of state, have never flown before. So exciting time. These are being paid for. They're getting an unbelievable Vex World experience at Dallas, Texas. So high school group will be flying out come next week, and then the middle school be following the April 30th through May 3rd. So that comes before you because these are overnight adventures. And like I said, very excited for our students, the academic side of this, and to see these are literally people throughout the world they're going to be competing against. So it's not Ohio, it's not the US, you are seeing people, and that's impressive and a very powerful experience. Number 3, we have agreement with the Huron County Public Health for K-12 preschool to provide nursing services as necessary for 23-24. Number 4, we have agreement with Huron County Board of DD effective July 1, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. 5 was a update from Pepple Wagner that we held off last month. We have that corrected language has been submitted for you, and that is in regard to our student records. Number 6, we have agreement with North Point ESC. That's our shared services. So all activity services personnel that are funded by or through us through North Point, that is covered in that agreement. Number 7 is developmental disabilities program at North Point ESC for alternative learning as necessary for the 23-24 school year. Number 8, we have the agreement with Lorain County ESC for services as needed that North Point would not provide for us or do not provide for us. Number 9 is a contract with NOECA for internet bandwidth increase. Number 10, we have student insurance for 23 and 24. That concludes the items for superintendent approval.
Motion for superintendent's reports, items 1 through 10.
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion?
I did have a question. We were talking before about the Huron County Board of Developmental Disabilities. This is the same contract renewing for the next year? Did we ever figure out anything
There isn't much we can do.
for? I guess that's my answer.
That's what we figured out. There isn't much we can do.
Okay, that's fine.
Roll call?
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Norris,
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenhouse.
Yes.
Mrs. Wick.
Yes. Okay, Ehomi news.
Okay, there's nothing new to report this month. They just been a lot of routines.
So they just had prom too.
It's coming up, yeah.
I thought they just had it. I just saw some pictures last week.
But, I know they have, I think 4 or 5 different graduation things you probably be aware of. To go to.
I just went to their open house for new students, what was it, last month, I think? That's the first time I've actually been in and walked around. It's extremely impressive. Yeah, really impressive.
Their open house that, he was hoping for 500 people. And he said we had over 1,000 that day of that open house. So it was very impressive.
And we have excited Norwalk students because they've had their letters of acceptance, so they've received that to their program. My first choice, second choice, depending what fills. But you have a lot of students that are very happy because they have a program they're excited about and they're ready to begin, so.
That's very exciting.
They also do how we do the sports signing, they do job signings as well too.
Yeah.
When they get hired through the company, so. Kind of keep everybody involved.
They actually have a lot of opportunities too. I didn't realize while they're still students to work in their field, you know, during school, but also in the summer, so they can learn more hands-on. It was really great, really impressive.
Legislative reports.
They had that on break. So.
We agreed, we talked a lot last month, we weren't gonna say much because they're on break.
They're on break. Hopefully when they come back, there will be no shenanigans.
All right. At this time, we're gonna move into executive session, to go over some evaluations. We will not be coming out with any motion. So, any motion to move into executive? Second?
Second.
Okay, who gets it first?
No. Okay.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzenhouse?
Yes.
Mrs. Wick?
Yes. Give me like 3 minutes. I'm gonna sign these papers.
No, that's fine. Where do you want to go?
Up in the lounge or? That way. Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
We're, yeah.